Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum.
We are from counseling student, year
Alright.
2, semester 2.
Alright,
We are going to do our assignment on public speaking.
alright.
So we will ask doctor some question, and doctor will answer throughout doctor knowledge and experience.
Alright,
The
okay.
first question is, can doctor tell us a little bit about yourself and background?
Alright, okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for all of you for coming here. Alhamdulillah for interviewing me. Basically, I'm not that expert, in this field. Okay, I'm also not very famous. Okay, you should go and interview somebody else who are more famous. I'm not that famous, but okay, I'll be helping you on this one. Okay, a little bit about background. My name is Rahim bin Wajis. Basically, I started my physical education. We go straight to the secondary school. Okay, secondary school is basically Sekolah Menengah Agama Rau, and then I took my STPM at NSTU, Sekolah Tinggi Agama Sultan Bukan Pahang, and then I further my study to Egypt, Al-Azhar University, in year 1984. The year before you were born, right? Year before you were born, 1984. And graduated in 1990 from Egypt, Alhamdulillah, Azhar University from Syariah faculty. Then after that, I joined UIA as assistant lecturer then in 1990, and then after that I further my study to Glasgow Caledonian University, Scotland, to do my PhD. And at the age of 33, in year 1996, okay, year 1996, you were born already? 1996?
No.
Not yet born, okay. I graduated already with PhD. At the age of 33, 1996. So I started my career basically at UIA, and then for 9 years. After that, I went to Brunei Darussalam for 6 years. After that, I went to Mahat Tafiq Negeri Pahang for about 4 years, and then starting from 2014, I started my career here at USIM. Okay, that's all. About myself. Yes, I'm married, Alhamdulillah, and with 15 kids and 3 wives.
Okay, that's good to know a little bit about Dr. background.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, we go to the next question,
Alright.
which is the first question is, what is your opinion about public speaking?
Public speaking, I think is very good. It's a very good thing to learn, and because why? Because this is the way how you show your level of confidence. Another one thing, and at the same time you can express your opinion. If you are not good at public speaking, you cannot express your opinion. Basically, you have a lot of things to say, but when it comes to certain event, for example, with some dialogue, for example, you cannot speak out because you don't have confidence inside yourself. So if you don't have confidence, then it's very hard for you to say something. You cannot say, voice out your concern, whatever it is. You just keep quiet and just follow whatever people say. So public speaking generally is very good, and most of the we see the leaders are basically should be good in public speaking. That's the way how they convince people. Also public speaking is very good. It's very essential. It's very important also for lecturers.
Yes.
If lecturers don't know how to master the public speaking, then maybe you become very boring when you go to the classroom. For example, you don't have motivation to learn because the way he talk, or the way some lecturers talk, just sitting there, on the chair and then reading the text, and no communication, no asking question, for example. So it will be very boring. Public speaking, basically you have the ability to attract people to listen to you. That's the way how it is. So of course, public speaking is very important. Something that you need to have. As a student, you need to learn how to to master the public speaking, because in the future, when you become a leader, you need to talk to people, you need to convince people, you need to express your ideas. So public speaking for me is very important.
Okay, we go to the next question,
Alright.
which is we want to know how long have you giving a speech? How long? Is it nowhere. After you graduate at in PhD at Glasgow, 1966.
1996.
After that, you
1996.
1996. After that, you have been go to the UIA.
Yes.
For 9 years.
Mm.
So during that time, you have been giving a lot of speech.
Yes.
How long?
Alhamdulillah.
How long?
Well, basically as ustaz, you know,
Mhm.
people call me ustaz. Then basically it started with a ceramah, you know, like a lecture, like a kuliah, you know, during between the prayers, for example. This is part of routine. But I started basically involved with television and all that basically when I was at UIA. So I used to be a moderator for one live program. They call it the program was Minda, replacing Dato' Hassan Ali. Dato' Hassan Ali was a moderator, and then I was being appointed as a moderator for a few series. Then I also involved with some of the religious program for Jakim, and at the same time involved with some radio program as well. And after that I become quite extensive in the sense of my involvement in media, especially television and radio when I was in Brunei, Darussalam. So I appeared a lot, in Brunei. So I would say that I'm quite famous in Brunei then, starting from 1999. That was basically my serious involvement in television, for example. Actually, starting from 1999. When I was in Brunei, because I appeared a lot in the live program. They call it one program because at night, Thursday night they have An-Nur, the program called An-Nur, which is it's live program for 1 hour, so people can call in and ask questions and all that. And then also in the morning we have a early program. It's like after Subuh prayer, then I went to the studio and do the live program, and then it started that way, And then I've been disappeared for so long, because I was when I was after I left Brunei, that the gap is quite some time, until recently when I joined USIM, and then I started this year basically. This year basically I started back. I mean, I don't because through my friends ask for a favor. They have some program in television, let's say Rampa Pagi, they call it Selamat Pagi Malaysia. I appeared just recently, and then after that radio. And then on the 4th of next month also, inshallah, I'll be appearing in another one in TV1. This is a 1 hour program. What the program? I can't remember the program, but it's in the afternoon, about 6 to 7 p.m. So on the 4th of this month, and next month, inshallah. So that's a little bit of my involvement with television, especially which. Basically, I look at it as a very good platform to share our opinion, to share our little knowledge with people, Yeah.
So after you have explained to us, it's quite long. It's about 20 years you are giving speech. 20 years and something. 20 years plus.
But on and off. Basically, television is not much involvement, but on and off also. But starting back, inshallah. Hopefully, you can see me more on television for the next few weeks or so.
Inshallah. Based on that, to continue to the next question, which is related, what is the difference when doctor give a talk and speech, and the difference when you give a lecture in the class? The difference you giving speech to the public and you giving a speech in the lecture.
Well, there's not much different. I mean, except when we are giving lectures, we have to follow the rules. I mean, the syllabus. We cannot simply say anything. We have to control ourselves. Maybe certain issues can be touched on it because it's maybe quite sensitive. And then also we have a guideline. We have to follow the guidelines, and then the time frame also is fixed, for example. And then the difference is in outside. Okay, you can talk anything. Basically, you can talk about politics. You can talk about issues, even though it's quite sensitive. But you can talk freely outside. But of course, when you teach students, you have to consider You know, because some students have the inclination towards certain group and the others are against it. And then we lecturers normally need to be in the middle. We need to be neutral. We cannot be, you know, well sometimes we have to show that our support to certain group, but we cannot be so like you know what they call it. I can't remember. I mean, you cannot so tough on that one. I mean, you can be flexible a little bit. You cannot simply say, okay, this is my opinion, you should follow my opinion. No, we have freedom of speech, we have freedom of choice. You know, we can just maybe I have let's say I'm supporting of certain group. Let's say I'm supporting government, for example. So we can force the student to support the government all the way, because some of the government, what the government do not always right sometimes. Some they are, you know, something that need to be corrected, for example. So we have to be you know, like in the middle. We cannot be so they call it ta'asub or something so extreme of our opinion. Extreme, that the word that I've been looking for. Extreme, yes.
Okay, Doctor. In your opinion, Doctor, during giving a speech or a talk, is it important the introduction before giving the speech?
Introduction mean introduction about what?
Introduction of something that you will give a talk or a speech.
Well, basically, when you give a talk, you want people to give attention to you. Okay, what is the point of giving talk when people are talking each other? We are playing with telephones, and you need to attract the interest of the people. Yeah, especially when youngsters, you know, people like you, very young, you know, you need to have a certain maybe guideline or maybe the strength. You need some strength. You know, how to control the classroom. The most important thing in the public speaking is basically is how to control the audience. Okay, if you are even good, you know, speaker, you know, good public speaker, but you don't know how to control your audience, then you cannot achieve anything. Because why? If you thought that they are also talking, they are laughing there, they are playing around with the handphone, you know, talking with the friend, and they don't give attention or fall asleep, then you cannot. I mean, you cannot deliver the thing. I mean, whatever you want to deliver.
The idea.
The idea. They can accept it. If they are playing, they don't focus to your talk, then they cannot get anything. So the most important thing is basically to get interest. So of course, introduction, of course, you cannot jump. Let's say we're talking about jinayah, that killing. So we got Assalamualaikum, killing is of course is not right. Then so you need to get close to the audience first, get them comfortable, they can smile, for example, they can feel, you know, relaxed, and then, you know, feel like they like you. Try to attract them, to make them smile, make them like you, you know, like to listen to you, and then come up with, maybe you start with small thing like story, something like that, you know, so that they start to get attention, for example, or maybe you can get some, you know, joke, something like that, you know. So that's very important. This falls under the introduction. Let's say if you go straight Assalamualaikum, let's say if first time you know me, let's say. So I start Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we're going to start our lecture straight away. What do you feel? You don't even know me. Who's this guy? You know, it's coming out, you know, from somewhere, you know, falling from the sky or something like that. You know, so introduction is very important. Yes, definitely.
So giving a speech quite difficult for we had not any experience for us.
Yes.
So, in your opinion, Doctor, is it preparation is very important during giving a speech?
Oh, definitely. But it depends on the situation and the audience. Okay? If you say like, okay, let's say some just invite me, you know, just like that, you know, without prayer notice. Let's say we are praying, for example, we perform a prayer. After prayer, suddenly give some talk, something like that, without giving a notice, you know. So that then, but the audience is just you know, normal people, so not many of them, maybe 10-20 people. And I used to get caught with this type of situation when I was at the gathering. It's quite a big gathering, you know. And then people are waiting for the VIP to come, but the VIP was late. And then one of my friend approached me, please give some talk or something like that, you know, because it's the gap is so long and people are so busy, and then people keep, you know, cannot keep quiet, you know, they keep shouting, because they are not comfortable anymore because waiting so long. So I went to the stage and then gave a talk. Something can happen, but of course, when we are not prepared, basically we cannot perform as good as it should be.
Yeah.
So preparation is very important. So that's why normally if people say, okay, Ustaz, can you give a talk about this specific topic tomorrow? I say no. I always say no, because you should give me some notice. So I need to prepare. It's basically like this. If you give something, for me it's when you give something, you want to give the best.
The best, yes.
Okay, if you go without preparation, and then you can perform the best you can. So even though you know the subject, but you don't know much. I mean, maybe on the surface you can talk about let's say Maqasid Syariah. Okay, I can talk about Maqasid Syariah, but in details I don't know, because it's not my field. But if you give me the topic, jinayah for example, okay, that's my field. That's my field. So you can talk about anything about the jinayah, then it's okay. But for other topics, then we need, because we are very limited. Even we are, people call us ustaz, but we don't know everything. We need to learn, we need to study, we need to go and find the nouns, for example, examples, stories, or related to the case, or something like that. So, preparation is very important. For me, it's vital, it's very important, aspect of public speaking. Yes.
Okay, during you give a speech, there will be a lot of points in your speech.
Yes.
What method do you use to supporting the points?
Well, basically, that's why preparation comes into the picture. It's very important. For me, normally I will write down everything I have in my head.
Alright.
Okay, I write everything in the text, and then after that I will highlight, or maybe make it underline, for example, the most important points. But I write everything. Let's say it's like I'm talking. Okay, this is the point. Okay, I want to talk about this one. Let's say now we don't have script. Now you ask question, I answer. No script. But normally we have script. Script meaning that when the question, the people give a question and come up with the answer. Okay, definition like this, for example. And then what's the point? Okay, I normally write in details whatever I want to say. And then after that I highlight, the most important point. So because why? Because during the lecture you cannot read.
Yeah.
You see, you cannot read. You have to talk, starting to talk, and then in a glimpse, for example, you look at the point and then you catch the point and then you explain. Because why? You have the point already. You have you have basic script already in your head. But you go and for a glimpse like that, you think, the point this one, okay, and then you talk about the point, and then you go to the next point, and then you go and talk about the another point, for example. So, but that's the method I use. Okay, some people who are really good, they just put the point 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. So they just talk one point, and because the dalil and the nas, everything in the head already. But for me, I'm still learning. I need to do preparation. Let's say even the verses of Quran, I already memorize it. I still put it down. So just in case, sometimes, of course, if you are on television, for example, it's live program. Wow, you cannot forget. You need to remember everything. So because people, maybe 100,000 people are watching, so you need to be careful. So that's what worries me. Appearing in television is more worried than other program. I don't care if I'm invited to talk about 2,000 people. For example, I'm not worried so much. But talking on television, live program, wow, you need to be extra careful. No, it's very difficult. Yeah.
Okay. Usually, how many points that you will give in a certain speech or lecture?
It depends on the time. How much time?
Oh.
How much time you give me? You give me 1 hour, and then I need. Maybe normally I do more extra for example points, because I don't want to get stuck there. If let's say the program is 1 hour, I need maybe 20 points, just in case, as a reserve. As a reserve, if you say okay 1 hour enough 10 points, for example, when you talk 10 points, suddenly what happened? The points finish already. You don't have any more time, and then you get stuck there. It cannot happen. This cannot happen. And then you start mumbling, and then you start talking about something not related to the topics, and then you go far away, and then that shows you are not really prepared. So you need to have extra points, as a reserve points, so that if you don't get stuck. If you can finish all the points, fine. If you cannot finish all the points, then you say okay, never mind. Inshallah, if you have other opportunities, maybe and next time we continue the the program or the talk on the remaining point, for example. Okay.
So it will be a lot of point that you will prepare before giving a speech or lecture.
Yes.
So the next question is, did you give any hint when you want to move from the certain point to the next point?
Well, it's normally like this. Just happens, by nature.
By nature.
Naturally, it's happen like that. It's a flow like that. You cannot. But sometimes it happen also. You're talking about the thing, one subject, and then suddenly you switch into other thing, and then sometimes happen that what we were talking about. we forget the main point. Then come the text is very important. The preparation there, and then if you go far away, which is not stated in the text, and then when you get lost, and then you go back, okay, now I'm coming back to our, even though people are actually, was in the other mode, in the other thing, other issues, but then you say, okay, now we come back to our, discussion, which we mentioned earlier on, or this about Jinayah, for example, Jinayah, and then we start taking back, bring back all the audience to the main point, or the focus of the discussion, for example.
Did you repeat the point before you to continue to the next point?
Not really.
Depend
on point and depend on importance. But normally, if we repeat the point, then maybe we talk about the point at the beginning, and then maybe certain occasion, yes, we do repeat it, because if we feel this is a very important point, then we repeat it so that people don't forget about the important point that we mentioned earlier. Yeah.
After you're giving a speech about an hour or an hour and a half, is it how do you make your audience still have a focus on you? Is it how you attract your audience?
The way I do it is like what I do in your classroom. That's normally because the controlling or get the audience focusing on your talk is not easy, because sometimes, especially when you talk to the children, okay, you need to touch their feelings, the emotion. Let's say people talk very much about their parents, for example. If you are talking about kids love their parents so much. It's not like you. And become older and older, you don't feel like the love is not. Of course you love your parents, but the love is in different way. In different respect is more basically. So when you talk about children, and then they love the parents very much, and then you always talk about the parents. Okay, you love your parents, right? Okay, what if your parents pass away while you are not here, or you are not with them, for example? And then they start to come, and then they give the attention to you, for example. You have your dad, your dad is still alive, for example. If you are talking about the children, for example, and then. Among other things that we need to attract the audience, basically through stories. Stories, yes. People love stories. Okay, they can sit there for 1 hour, 2 hours listening to the stories. And then another thing is very important also about joke. People love jokes. So nowadays we see so many people. Public speakers who are famous. Basically, they must come with a package which is jokes. A lot of jokes. And then jokes, basically, you can simply come. I'm not quite good in making jokes. No, it just happen like that. If you happen to laugh, then I'm lucky, because I'm not really good at this one. Because jokes sometimes it comes naturally. People even the way they talk, people laugh already. They see you talking, and then they laugh already. That's some advantage for some people. But for me, I need to learn. Sometimes I do learn. Some jokes from other people, then we can copy that one and then put it into our lecture, because otherwise it will be boring. Because you are serious about the thing, and then of course it become boring, and then how people can stay for 2 hours in a classroom. Of course, you have to stay there. You cannot get out. But if you are talking about general public, then people go away. If you can attract them to listen, they feel boring, then they go. So how can you control them? That's very important. That is basically technique, skill. That you need the skill. That of course there are so many skills you need to learn about that. To how to make them stay as they are. From the beginning to the end.
So basically, you will do some jokes or tell some stories. Still have attention.
Correct. And at the same time, what we can do basically to get them giving the intention, basically to ask questions. You go straight away. Okay, can you please repeat again what I said? For example, and then people start to worry. Oh, it's maybe next time is my my turn. For example, So maybe and then they are afraid. For example, being asked by the lecturers or by the by the one or the speakers. For example, then you need to ask questions. For example, among others. Maybe you can go closer to them. How are you? And then you ask a few questions to them. That's the way how you make them awake. For example, if people are asleep, then what you do? Okay, come. Maybe you bring them to the stage. Thereby you can share something to us. That's the way how we get the attention from the audience. Yes.
Maybe a few last question.
Alright.
We want to know, in your opinion, what we should have in a conclusion. And do you think the conclusion is very important thing in the speech?
Yeah, definitely. A conclusion is basically to wrap up everything. You have been talking so long. Let's say we are talking about 2 hours. Of course, sometimes in the classroom, because the time limited, we don't do the conclusion. We stop here and then we continue next week. Okay. But as for normally the speech or the talk, normally we give the conclusion so that because so many things we talk about 1 hour or 2 hours, people don't really remember the whole thing. Okay, people just listen to it and then after that they just sometimes most of them because according to statistics, I mean the based on the psychology, if you learn psychology, right? If you listen to any talk, for example, for 2 hours, how many percent can you remember? Maybe 10-20% can you remember after the finish of the kuliah, for example, a lecture. If I ask you a question, maybe you can answer all of them. Maybe only 20% remain in your head. Okay, the remaining, the rest is you can't remember at all. So you need to recall back. I mean, this for the past 2 hours we've been talking about this one. Remember? Okay, this number one is the most important point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Somebody, even though they forget everything that they've been listening before, and then at least they got what? They got few points at the end of the lecture, and then remember that one. They hold to that one. Then maybe they practice straight away to that points. That's good for them already. Otherwise, if you don't do conclusion, they forget everything. They just remember the last word. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. They are happy because it's finished already. The program is complete, finished. Yeah.
Okay. Regarding to the previous question, did you give a signal before you end your speech?
Yeah, basically depends on the time. Look at the time is okay. Now we have about 5 minutes. Then of course that show we are come closer to the end of the lecture, and then of course people, the audience will understand that we have only very few minutes left, and then of course from there we are going to do our conclusion.
Basically, how do you end your speech?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yes. Basically, normally if we end, we need to mention the few names, for example, thanking them, appreciate, give some credits, some credit to people who invited you, because without them you will not be there. Sometimes even how good you are, you need somebody who invites you to go there. If you don't appreciate them, maybe next time they will not invite you. That in that sense. I mean, but of course you thank people that actually you thank Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Okay, people who don't thank people, basically they don't thank Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. So we need to appreciate people, give the credit to them. And then hopefully that because they can benefit from what you said, from your lecture, then inshallah they are going to invite you again next time. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah.
Okay, for the last question.
Okay.
Can you just
How many last? So many last questions.
Do the last.
Okay, do the last. Okay. No problem. Okay.
Can you tell us a little bit about the problem that you have faced during give a lecture? Maybe you want stories.
Well, yeah. Very good story. It's a real one. It happened when when I was a moderator for a program, a live program on television, TV1. The program was, as I said earlier on, at the beginning, the program was called Minda. Minda means the program that is live program. I was a moderator. Then people call in, the question, answer, that. So one night, someone called me, a woman. I still remember the boy. I can't remember. But the question was about something related to scholarship. There was someone from Telecom Malaysia. If I'm not mistaken, it was CEO of the company of the TM Telecom Malaysia. So someone asked questions. Okay, that's my problem. Somehow, because of lack of the experience, I didn't know what to do. I got panic. Someone asked questions, and then after finishing the question, I said, "Okay, Dato', please, maybe you have something to respond." And then Dato', just like this. I can't remember the question, he said. And then I was panicked. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, me too, Dato'. I also don't understand the question. I don't also remember the question." And then you see in the earpiece, the director there, "Doctor ni, why did you answer like that? Oh my God!" I was screaming in my ears here. That was the problem. The problem is the problem. What actually created? Why it happened? Because why? I don't have experience. I don't know what to do when people ask questions. So the tip is, when people ask questions, you get a piece of paper and then write down the question.
Yeah.
And then you don't forget. If I did the same thing, maybe I'm still on television. But what happened next? The next day, the director, the general director, they called me up and said, "Dr. Ni, what happened yesterday was very disappointed," and said, we need you to take some rest. For maybe a few weeks or so,
Yeah.
But you know what? They didn't call me back later. Not until recently, See what happened?
Yeah.
See, this it's always memorable, experience for me. Yeah. But now I know how to handle it. Yes. That's the problem. That if you are not prepared, then that can happen. Because in television you cannot keep silent even few seconds. You need to keep talking and talking and talking. You cannot stop. Stop talking. You need to stop. Keep talking and talking and talking. You see on television, people are not speaking.
No.
Someone is silent. I look at you. You look at me. Then you don't know what to say. No. It can happen.
Yeah, they will talk all the time.
They need to talk. Non-stop like this. Even though you cannot stop.
Is it because the preparation?
Yeah, part of it is preparation. So preparation is very important in anything, even in the classroom also. You need to come and read 3 hours.
Of course. Okay, Doctor, I think that's all the questions we want to ask you, and we got all of the points. Alhamdulillah.
I'll give you some ideas about through my experience. I mean, it's not that much, but if you follow some of my tips, I think you can improve yourself in public speaking, inshallah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay, be on TV, inshallah. You can watch yourself here. Okay, at my channel, Dr. Rahim channel.
Yeah, I subscribe.
Okay, subscribe. Thank you very much. Thank you, inshallah. Alright, thank you.
Jutaan terima kasih kerana menonton video ini. Jika ia bermanfaat, sila like, share dan subscribe. Salam khabar dari saya, Ustaz Dr. Rahim bin Wajis. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.